back of him. We're going to the fastest corner of the track, and oh my God! Oh! Alright, so before we start the pre-final, I just wanted to show you guys this video. This was the last practice session before qualifying. And I had just done a couple laps. I heat cycled these tires that we already took off, I think. These are old tires that we're putting on right now. I had come right into the pits. The practice session is still going. And you can see I hopped right out of the cart. We put it up on the stand. I didn't even have time to take my helmet or anything off. We just immediately started. We had two tools. We were taking off the tires. We're putting on these new old scrubbed ones so we can save the heat cycled ones for qualifying. And we're just rushing as fast as we can to get the cart down and me back out there for the practice session for the last little bit of it. That way I can really feel the last moments before qualifying, what we need to change, any camber, any Ackerman angle, any sort of change I could think of. You know, it's this brand new cart. I really need to get the setup down. I don't have it down this weekend. So we're doing everything we can to give me as much seat time so I can really make any sort of adjustments that are going to help me going into this final. You know, I have this bent frame I'm running on. I didn't know at the time it was a bent frame, but I knew something was wrong with the cart, and we were thinking, yeah, gotta get some seat time.
Well, we want to go through the thing. We want to go through the scales anyway.
Okay.
I'll deal with everything else.
How's it running?
Good. It took a while to heat the tires up though.
What's the temperature?
I don't know. Okay, welcome to the pre-final. Right now we're on the formation lap, and my goal for this race is to not stop talking through the entire thing. Here we go. Okay, so you see the darker bits of the track. That's called the rubbered in part of the track. That's actually where the racing line is, where the most grip is. You can see the outline, this black line. Yeah, that's where all the rubber from the tires gets scraped off because it's the racing line. And it's actually more grippier, which makes it and then turn faster, is because, well, think about the coefficient of friction between a tire, rubber, and asphalt. It's quite high, very high in fact. But think about the coefficient between rubber and rubber when it's dry. It's even higher than rubber on asphalt. You see what I'm saying? But in the wet, rubber on rubber wet is slippery. Rubber on asphalt is still slippery, but you know, the asphalt has that abrasive surface to kind of dig into the rubber. And that's why the racing line is slower in the wet, because you actually have to go off it so you don't get that rubber. Okay, we're lined up here. We're getting ready to go. We're going to take this short chute. This short chute is just used for the start of the race. And red lights out, and away we go into the Lafayette Grand Prix. I had to slow down there so I wouldn't ram the back of him. We're going to the fastest corner of the track, and oh my God, what is that? I can't even believe what I'm watching. This is just incredible. And they keep going. We think Roulet has damage. Roulet is confirming with his engineers that he does have damage. He's trying to get the draft on the fastest corner of the track, going onto the home straight where they hit up to 90 miles an hour, and he's flying down the track. Okay, thanks, Bill. I think we'll take it from here. Alright, yeah, Ayrton's engineers have reported back that he does have damage. We can confirm he has a bent frame. Ayrton has not been made aware of this. That's why he's not pulling into the pits. Also, we know that he's had a rough season start this year. He's just got a new cart. He's working on the setup, and you know, this bent frame isn't really going to help him today. Thanks, Jerry. Back to you, Joe. Okay. Don't really know what to say at this point. We only have this one camera angle, thanks to ESPN cutting salaries. Anyways, this one camera angle is just showing us Ayrton in the backfield, not really racing anyone, just at an advantage. Kind of sad. really disappointing. We thought there was going to be a lot from him today. And all the racing that's happening up front, that is just not on camera, so we can't really talk about it. All right, well, I think we should talk about this track. Let's do a lap. We're going across the finish line now, and you're at the start of the race. We're in the first sector, going uphill into this hairpin. Really allows you to get that little bit of extra braking force because you're going uphill, so you're getting gravity aiding you. But right after, you have to go into this carousel where it's a downhill, so you lose grip going in, but it starts to go to an uphill. And now we're into the second fastest corner of the track. Ayrton's favorite. He loves that corner. So much fun, so much G-force. Right now is the most important corner of the track. After you come out of that corner, when you're going through those chicanes, you're flat out all the way around here, even though you touch the grass with the outside of your tire and you go across the finish line. Incredible. It's too bad he's a bent frame and he can't be up there fighting with the guys in the lead. But more about this track, it's slightly hilly for a kart track. You know, there's definitely flatters, there's definitely hilliers, but that always adds an extra element of fun and skill. One thing you should know is that there are so many adjustments on these karts. I mean, so many. And when you get a new kart, you're starting from scratch. You have to get everything back into a position where the kart is set up. I mean, think just the front end geometry of the karts. There's 6 different parts. I mean, you have camber, you have the other one, caster, you have Ackerman angle, you have track width, there's toe, and then there's another one. That's 6 right there. Okay, and then, ride height. Front ride height is the 6th one. That's literally just on the stupid little parts of the front wheels. And then from there, you have different steering wheels and the seat positions. Don't even get me started on the seat positions. Oh my god. And on top of the 6 billion different combinations, you can have your seat in the right place for the center of the mass, balancing it with the engine, and just comfort overall for you with your pedals. There's also the weight factor. You have to be over 365 pounds with you and the cart in it, and if you don't weigh enough, you have to add weight to the cart, and it comes down to where do you add the weight, where's the best place for the best track. And the reason there's that 365 pound limit is so that it's fair. It's at like an even playing field for everyone. Even if someone's 100 pounds and someone else is 200 pounds, it doesn't really make sense for them to be racing against each other. So you have to be over a minimum weight, so it's all like balanced and fair. And then we get to the back of the cart. There's different brakes, different brake fluids, and so many different combinations of braking, which can affect your own personal performance. There's always the factor of gas, how much gas you put in, how much gas will you burn throughout the race, so get as close to that 365 without going under it for weight. And then there's gearings. You have the clutch gear and you have the rear gear in the back, and you have to balance those two for the rest of the track. But that might change as you set up your cart and you're going faster and faster, and you may need a little bit more RPMs, a little bit torque at the end of straightaways to really get that top speed. And then we go to the back. We then have the rear ride height, which when you put it down, that makes it higher, which is very unintuitive. Like if you want to lower the ride height, you have to move the back wheels up on the chassis so that the chassis sits lower. It's kind of all like reversed the way you say it. Anyways, yeah, and then we go to the tires. Okay, last year we were running LeContes. This year we're running MGs. Tire pressures, everyone's out running on MG's yellow, so that's level across the country. But the thing that makes a big difference is tire pressures, because your tire pressure, you have to go out on a lower one than you want in the middle of the race, and it's all a balancing act. You can have higher tire pressures and you're really grippy really quick in the beginning of the race, but you go for the slightly lower tire pressures and it's hard to heat up those tires to get to the optimal performance window. But then if you put them a little bit lower, you'll have the grip and you'll have the heat in the tires at the end of the race. But if you have higher pressures and you get that grip earlier, by the end of the race or mid-race, your tires are going to be overheating and you're going to be losing grip. Now that's just all tire pressure. I'm not even talking about the rims that the tires go on. There's 3 different types of rims you can be using: spun aluminum, cast aluminum, magnesium. And if you don't know your chemistry, your specific heats of these metals, you're screwed. You have no chance of competing, okay? Because spun aluminum, you have to know, is absolutely useless unless you're in the rain. Cast aluminum, you have to know, has a much higher specific heat, but it's nothing compared to magnesium. Magnesium has it's 180 has 33% more specific heat capacity. And what that means is there's less of a range, which means you can have a slightly higher tire pressure because it's not going to raise as much from those magnesium rims, so you can get up to speed quicker, and you can keep the optimal temperature window even longer. So in the heat, in the dry, you have to be running magnesium rims. And then there's also hubs. You can have aluminum hubs or magnesium hubs, and you want magnesium hubs in the dry. But when it comes to the rain, when it's cold, when it's hard to get that temperature into those tires, then you might think of, we might want to put on some cast aluminum rims on the tires, and then we'll keep the magnesium hubs for now. And then if it's cold and rainy, you might think we just cannot get heat into those tires. So we're putting on aluminum hubs and spun aluminum rims, because that's the only way we'll have any chance of getting heat into these tires. And rain tires, they have their complete own different tire pressures, much higher, because you really want the edges of those rain tires, little grips, to push out, to stick into the ground and not warp and flatten like you wanna slick to do. You want it to be warm like bubble gum, and you want it to flatten and spread out, make the tire width wider so you can really dig into the corner. And I think that's it. That is the end of the race. Now we do this slow cool down lap, which is great for the engines, which a lot of people don't end up doing after practice or qualifying. But you do this wonderful slow down lap, cool down the engine a little bit before it sits and the water's not circulating around it and it cooks itself to death. And then we're just gonna pull into the pits. We're gonna get on the scales, and we're gonna make sure everyone's over 365 pounds. Thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to show you the next race. See you then.